Good morning, grade 7s. We continue with fractions this week, specifically multiplication of fractions. Last week you did do a worksheet on this, so it shouldn't sound too unfamiliar to you. We're looking at exercise 6.12 on page 98. Let us first do the examples on page 97 before you begin. Now this exercise is about the meaning of. Now we know that if we do a sum like this, 1/3 of 6, it actually means 1/3 times by 6. Last year in grade 5, when we did these, we called them Hamburger Sums, and we said 6 divided by 3 is 2, and 2 times by 1 is 2. The new method is going to suit the more complicated fraction problems that you get from now on. So let's have a look at it. We know that 6 as a whole number is the same as 6 over 1. Now we can multiply our numerators and our denominators. 1 times 6 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. This is an improper fraction. 3 fits into 6 twice, and there are no remainders. Same answer. In example 4, on page 97, they give us this sum. 3/5 times by 6/12. We simply multiply our numerators and our denominators, and then we simplify by multiplying top and bottom by 6, and we get 3 over 10. Example 5, 2/3 times by 1 and 3 over 5. Now, immediately, we can see that we're going to have a problem here, because we can't just go ahead and multiply the numerators because there is a whole number in the way. We need to convert our mixed numbers into improper fractions before we begin. So the 2/3 will stay the same. 5 times 1 is 5, plus the 3 is 8 over 5. Now we can go ahead and multiply. 2 times 8 is 16. 3 times 5 is 15. This is an improper fraction, so we must simplify. 15 fits into 16 once, remainder 1 over 15. Example 6 gives us 3 fractions. 1 and 1/5 times by 2 and 3/8 times by 1/5. I think you're realizing by now that multiplication of fractions is far easier than addition and subtraction. Before we even begin, we have to change our mixed numbers into improper fractions. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 3 is 19. And our 5th stays the same. We can now go ahead and multiply. 6 times 19 is 114, and 114 times 1 is still 114. 5 times 8 is 40, and 40 times 5 is 200. We need to simplify this by dividing top and bottom by 2, and we get 57 over 100. The last example on page 97 gives us this problem. 3/8 times by 2/3. There are two ways of doing this. We can just go ahead and multiply our numerators and multiply our denominators and simplify that by dividing top and bottom by 6, and we will get a quarter. I'm going to show you another way of doing this. It might seem unnecessary with such a simple sum, but when you get more complicated numbers, I think you will use it quite a lot. So let's try this one again. 3/8 times by 2/3. Now remember, with fractions, what we do to the top, we must do to the bottom. I can see a relationship between that 3 on the top and that 3 on the bottom. I call this the multiplication slide. They are related because of the sign in the middle. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 3 divided by 3 is 1. I can also see a relationship between this 2 and this 8. They're both even numbers. So I'm going to go from the top to the bottom, and I'm going to divide both of them by 2. And I will get 1 and 4. I've now simplified, and I now have 1/4 times by 1/1, which is 1/4.